These are Leopard 2 tanks on a NATO training mission in Lithuania. Rarely can a piece of military hardware have been the subject of such intense political controversy. German-built Leopards are fielded by many European armies, are easy to deploy, maintain and to operate. But they can't be re-exported to Ukraine without Berlin's consent. Today, following weeks of pressure, the German Chancellor not only gave the green light to other countries to send their stocks of Leopards to Ukraine, Germany itself would send 14 tanks with the aim of creating 2 tank battalions.
Wirklich Krieg in Europa.
There really is a war going on in Europe not far from here. That's why we have to make clear we will do what is necessary to support Ukraine, but at the same time avoid an escalation between Russia and NATO. We will continue to stick to that principle.
He acknowledged Germans were anxious about the war escalating and asked that they trust his government. But in Frankfurt, some were sceptical. Weapons don't create peace, this man said. They create war, and if we take part in it, it's our own fault. But the move has been welcomed by NATO allies, including Britain, which is sending Challenger 2 tanks. Spain is reportedly sending over 50 Leopards. Berlin's U-turn appears to have been contingent on Washington sending some of its Abrams battle tanks. These are said to be harder to operate and to maintain. But President Biden made it clear that US military support now included tanks.
The United States has committed hundreds of armored fighting vehicles to date, including more than 500 as part of the assistance package we announced last Friday. And today I'm announcing that the United States will be sending 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine.
The Kremlin says the tanks will be an expensive folly and will burn in Ukraine. The West believes Ukraine will now have the ability not just to repel a Russian offensive, but also to liberate more of its territory.
And Tony's in Brussels for us this evening. Tony, will the decisions made today about sending these tanks to Ukraine significantly impact this war?
That's certainly the hope, Sharon. There are some 2,000 of these Leopard tanks in Europe, and Kyiv obviously hopes that means it'll be able to get these tanks to the battlefield much more quickly. These are much more advanced than the Soviet-era tanks that Russia and indeed Ukraine has been using. They have thermal imaging, meaning they can be operated at night time as well as during the day. They have a laser rangefinder, which means they can really track targets precisely. And they run on diesel, which is obviously a lot more plentiful. They can travel at around 44 miles per hour. That gives these Ukrainian offensives quite a punch, and one tank can run for about 210 miles in one tank. So it has all of these advantages which really Ukraine hope will give it the edge in the coming months to forestall or repel a potential Russian offensive in the spring, and also to give Ukraine the chance to liberate more of its territory. And at that point, having liberated territory, then Ukraine may be in a much more strong position to enter negotiations. Whether Russia will want that or not, that's another matter.
Europe editor Tony Conley, thank you.